All right, guys, so we got like a ton of new units in this update. All of them are in the challenge crate. Now, I'm not gonna lie, like the power creep in this game is getting a little crazy. So we're gonna be ranking all of the new challenger crate units on our updated tier list. And our tier list is mainly geared towards the highest damage, so mainly geared towards Tower of Karate. Now, I'm gonna be honest, all the game modes in this game are very easily beatable with any unit on this tier list. So let's get it started. And let's start it off with some of the less common units that you guys probably won't really use much. So first up, we have Mama Base. Now, if you guys don't know who Mama Base is basically based off of, you can just kind of scroll down here and look at that, guys. She's basically Granny Tentacles. You guys can see the SPA is identical. She has slightly less range, but she has like 3 times the damage. So she's actually low-key not that bad. If you were a brand new player, I might use her, but with all the admin abuse and stuff, I don't think she's viable anyway. And as far as where she goes on the tier list, technically speaking, she'd be pretty low. But she is a full AoE unit, so she actually isn't the end of the world bad. All right, next up we have the Doctor. Now, the Doctor, honestly, I would probably say if you guys are playing a real game, he's going to be worse than Mama Base. Because he's a line AoE unit, and I know it says 3,000 damage. Whenever it's a line AoE unit, that's kind of a lie. So I wouldn't really trust that at all. So I'm going to be honest, I don't really recommend him at all. But he's basically, you know, he's like a throwaway unit. All right, Nocturna, she's another line AoE unit, but you can see her SP is a lot faster. Now, this doesn't really make her any better for Tower of Karate, but for normal game modes, she's definitely gonna be a little bit better. So I'm gonna give her a slight edge. But honestly, I think Mama Base is the best in this entire thing. But if you're doing a boss battle or something, technically speaking, Nocturna's better. All right, next up we have Peter. Now, you're gonna notice something kind of weird. Like, the damage for Peter is really low comparatively, and the reason being is his range is actually pretty cracked. So he has 32 range. He's actually a pretty decent mythic. If you guys want a comparison for him, I'm going to head on over here to the collection and I'll show you kind of like who his comparables are. We'll compare him with some of the common mythics, I guess. So the common mythic that people would replace him with isn't the other forms of Patrick. It's actually like Smitty, I guess, is probably the closest comparison. Or there's probably an updated version of Smitty around. This guy fully, yeah, this is probably the closest I can get to him. 1250 for 2. All right, now, I'm gonna be honest, that guy kind of sucks. But Peter is not that bad. But again, he's kind of like the throwaway unit too. He's not the greatest, but he's something. Now, this is when we get to the OP units right here, guys. These 2 units are actually pretty busted. So as far as Peter is, technically speaking, he's not even on the tier list. Like, he shouldn't even be in the D tier, you know? Like, technically speaking, none of these units should be on this list. Like, 8k plus, like, these units are all pretty trash. So I'm gonna actually have to write like a new row. I'm just gonna say like trash. All right, bad for tower. All right, like these ones, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't even know if I would bother using them, but if you have them, you have them. All right, but these 2 guys, look at this. So it says question mark here. I don't know why it does, but I actually do have a worm and I do have one maxed out. So let me show you what the stats are. This is actually kind of good. Look at the stats, guys. Absolutely insane. Now, if we're doing some comparisons, as far as like damage goes for like Tower of Karate and whatnot, Wormy is still up there. I don't know if he's quite meta. As far as stats go, 105,000 for 1. If we compare him with like Bunker Boys, you're gonna see Bunker Boys is just a little bit better. So overall, technically speaking, he's gonna still be in the S tier. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, if you're playing the game normally, he's better than Bunker Boys, hands down. All right, but technically speaking, he's doing slightly less damage, but I'm gonna give him the edge. Honestly, I'm gonna give him the edge. I'm gonna put him in the 3rd place. I know technically speaking, all right, look at the damage. And then we have Pinch, a little bit higher. All right, technically, but for every game mode, you're gonna want to use Wormy. Like, I'm gonna be honest, Wormy is really good. Now, this brings us to one of the rare units. Now, I only know a few people in the whole game that have this guy. That is the new exotic. Now, the drop rate is crazy and you need to grind an insane amount, but my one friend DM'd me and showed me the stats. All right, so the stats are right here, guys. 0.1 SPA to 1.95 million at level 50 and crazy range. And of course, this guy's actually a splash damage unit. So we don't actually have a splash damage unit yet, but we can compare him with Painty the Pirate. So comparing him with Painty the Pirate, Painty the Pirate is doing 4,500 and this guy's actually doing 300,000 at level 1. So he's actually worse than Painty the Pirate, but by not much. However, he's actually higher than King of Karate. So Squidward the Sad Clown is technically speaking the 2nd best unit in the game. Now, I might give him the edge over Painty the Pirate, but Painty the Pirate is basically splash damage as well. So they're actually really, really close. But this guy's gonna give you more damage in Tower of Karate. But dude, Squidward is kind of cracked. Now there's one more unit, guys, we have, and that is probably the easiest of the OP units to get this update, and that is the Squirrel. Now I will say the problem with the Squirrel, it is a single target unit, but look at those stats, guys. 400,000 damage compared to Painting the Clown. Absolutely crazy. Now if you're doing any normal game mode, you might not want to bring him, but he is a boss killer, like a boss absolute nuke, and the range kind of does suck on the rodent as well. So I'm gonna put right there. So Painting the Clown, Painting is definitely better. Clown is third, and technically speaking this guy, but honestly if I were to use these units in an actual game mode, he might be a little bit farther down, maybe even behind Wormy, because full AoE on Wormy is just crazy OP. So there you go. This is what I would do. This is the tier list for if you guys are doing tower. This is what I kind of would recommend. Now honestly, technically speaking, you don't need the worm if you're doing tower. The worm will be optional. I'm just putting him higher because he does have more utility overall. All right, anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys need any game passes, let me know. We're going to be doing a big giveaway at the next sub goal, which I believe is 71,500 subs. So let me know which game passes you guys want me to give away for that. And I'll see you soon for the next admin abuse. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace.